The following equation makes what type of graph? Now the way you figure this out is you basically got to focus in on the x squareds and y squared. Alright, for this particular one you have an x squared and a y squared, and what you have here is a 6 and a negative 7. So what you notice is 6 does not equal negative 7. So since these are not equal, alright, and you have an x squared and a y squared, and since one's a negative, what you know is this is going to be a hyperbola. Now, in general, how do you know how to do these problems? Well, there's a kind of little formula I use. You have your x squareds and your y squared. Now, if you only have an x squared or a y squared only, that is going to be a parabola. Okay. If, say, x squared equals y squared, alright, meaning the numbers in front, let's call this a and b. If ax squared equals by squared, if the a and the b equal each other, then you have a circle. Okay, as long as they're equal, you have a circle. Alright, if you have, let's talk about a and b again. If a does not equal b, if a and b are not equal, and they are the same sign, meaning both positive or both negative, it is an ellipse. If a does not equal b, but you have different signs, then it is an hyperbola. So, if a and b are not the same, but if you have the same signs, it's an ellipse, but if they're different signs, it's a hyperbola. For instance, this one, they were not equal. One's a negative, one's a positive, so it's a hyperbola. Again, here, you have a's, and you have either an ax squared or a by squared. Basically, you have either of them. It's all about these two terms. This is your a, this is your b. Okay, that's for figuring out what type. Now, number 2, what is the equation for the graph? Well, to find the equation for this graph, first of all, we know it's an ellipse. We first have to find the center, and the center looks like it's -1, 2. That's the center. From there, now you got to find out the length out on both sides. So here it looks like we're going 3 out, and here it looks like we're going down 2. Those two values are very important. Next, we know this is an ellipse, so what you get to realize is you're going to have x squared over something, and you have y squared over something, and we always equal 1 for an ellipse. And now we got to figure out what is going to go here. Well, right in these two values, this is hk. So this is hk, xy. So my x value is -1, so the opposite of -1 is going to be +1. My y value is 2, the opposite of 2 is -2. So there's h and k. Now we got to find out the bottom numbers. Well, to find out the bottom numbers, well, you look at this. This is 3, and this is the x. Remember, this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis, so this is x and y. So if this is 3 and this x, we're going to put 3 squared underneath here, so that would be 9. Since this is 2 and it's going down, which is y, 2 squared is 4. There's the equation for your ellipse. Okay. Again, you look to see what direction they're going. That this is x, this is y. And so you put them underneath and you square them. So be careful about the squaring. The last one, we want to find the vertex, but we first want to put it in standard form. We want to make this look something like this, if it's that type. First of all, let's look at this. This is actually going to be a hyperbola, because a and b are different, and one's positive, one's negative. So we know it's a hyperbola. Besides that, let's keep going. What we do first is we take and group the like pieces. So we're going to group that plus the -4y squared minus 24y, and we're going to move over the 36. So we move the 36 over and we group the x's and y's. That's the first step. Pretty important. Now the next step is we're going to pull GCFs out of both of these and complete the square. So for the x's, I'm going to pull a 9 out, leaving you 9x squared. When you pull a 9 out of 36, it looks like 4x. And we're going to do completing the square, so I've got to put a blank. We're going to add something. For this one, I'm going to pull a -4, so I'm going to make that a -4. You can put a plus negative, same thing. Anyways, you can pull that out, you got y squared. And then negative 4 times what's negative 24? It looks like positive 6 plus blank. And that's 36. And we have to add a blank for both of those. So from there, what we're doing is we want to find out what goes in those blanks. How do we find this blank? Well, for completing the square, what you do is you half the 4 and you square it. So half 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4. So that's going to be 4. The problem is you have to have 4 over here, but it's not 4. It's 4 times 9. So that's actually going to be 36. Over here, what do you put here? Well, 6. 6 divided by 2 squared. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. And then negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. So from there, I want to do completing the square. So for completing the square, let's simplify this. What you'll notice is this becomes 9. And if you factor this, this becomes x plus 2 squared. So minus 4. If you factor this, you get y plus 3 squared. And if you add up all that, these cancel, you basically get 36. Okay, next. I need to keep changing this to this form. So the next step to change it to standard form would be divide by 36. And when we do that, 36, 9 goes into 36 how many times? Well, actually, let's first put this on top. Equals 1. And then 9 goes into 36, looks like 4 times. 4 goes into 36 9 times. So there's our equation. So I want my center. My center, to get the hyperbola, the center is going to be what? Negative 2, negative 3. That's my center. And if I want my vertices are going to be on this. So A is going to be plus or minus 2, because the square root of 4 is 2. And to get those vertices, what we're going to do is we're going to take this negative 2, 3, and the 2 came from the x. So what's going to happen is we're going to have negative 2 plus 2, comma negative 3. So we take the negative 2, we're going to add the 2. Or we're also going to have negative 2 minus 2, comma negative 3. So basically we're adding 2 and subtracting 2 to the x value here, xy, because we know the vertices are going to be on the x-axis. They're going to be 2 left and 2 right. Anyways, from there, it looks like my answer is going to be 0, negative 3 is one vertice, and negative 4, negative 3 is the other vertice. If you were to graph this, you'd find those vertices as well. These is a little more complicated, but that's for now what we're doing.